Hey, Jefi, great to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great today here in sunny, hot San Diego. How about you?
Well, in Chapel Hill, it's like 90 something, 90
Oh,
high and humid, and we're
yeah, we don't
dying.
have
But
that.
yeah, you don't have that, so it's pretty nasty. But so how's the feedback been going on the podcast? What have you been hearing?
I've been hearing good stuff. It's been a lot of fun. I know, it's funny because Ed and I, we met at Peak in 2021.
2021.
And after Peak, when we were chatting, we're like, hey, well, I had shared with him that I really wanted to do a veggie centric podcast. And he's like, hey, why don't we start with a real estate one and kind of iron out the details? And of course I said yes. So that's why we're here. But it's a lot of fun. And one of the goals that we had is that we would have 10 podcasts ready by the time that the following Peak in 2022 came out. And in about, what was it, March of 22, we looked at each other and said, what?
Well, we realized we had a problem because we were kind of stuck. And so we really Peak's stuck in May, and it was March. And I remember we were about 40 days out. And I said, Jefi, you realize what we're doing here? We're FSBOing ourselves. We're for sale by owning ourselves. And it was an aha moment for us, which was like, we need to pay a professional to help us get to the finish line and really trim this up, which beyond being just a real kind of cute, sentimental story brings us to the topic we want to talk about today, which is don't FSBO yourself.
Right. And one little piece of that too is that once you said that to me, I thought, okay, I need to take a deep dive on my life and my business and see what else am I FSBOing myself on, because we do that. And especially people that are in our job, we think we can do it all. We can do everything. We're good. We're great. And then to break it down and see, okay, where am I FSBOing myself when I'm telling clients who FSBO themselves that we are super valuable and they need us, but yet on the flip side of that, we weren't doing it. So, we've got 5 little things, and this will be in the show notes for you. But number 1, make a list of your goals. Right? So we start there. Yep. And then they go to the categories, right? Ed, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. And I think kind of big picture, again, what we're talking about is looking at your life and saying, what are things that are important to you that you want to work on? And you start that process by just making a list of goals and what you want to do. And for us, like doing a podcast popped up there. We really wanted to dive into this medium and do it. But you make that list of goals out, which if you're a Buffini agent, you know that's something that we do all the time at conferences. But then the second step is categorizing that goals and kind of putting them into buckets. And what we've done with our goals is like, okay, what's the business bucket? What's the life balance bucket? And then what are your passion projects, if you will, things that you want to take on and do that kind of bring you joy and energize you. So make
something
that list of goals.
Something that speaks to you.
Something that speaks to you. So, business, life balance, and passion projects. So look at that list of goals and throw them into those buckets.
Yeah. And then what you're going to do is you're going to stack rank them by importance. So obviously you don't want to be hiring a whole bunch of people to do a whole bunch of things when you might have 1 or 2 or 3 top things that are really important to you to get done in a certain amount of time. So you rank them out, and like weight loss, or you're training for a huge event, or you want to learn to play the piano, or whatever it is, because you don't want to, in our job as realtors, it's so life encompassing that a lot of times we forget to do the fun stuff. And so to take the time to hire somebody to help you do the fun stuff or get better at the fun stuff, that's where I think the magic happens with balance in your life.
Yeah, it definitely does. And it goes on the business front too. So, look at the business things and say, well, okay, what's the most important thing I'm trying to do with my business at this point in time? And getting that stack ranked along with the life balance, along with kind of the passion stuff. which I think brings us to the fourth one, which is, take the top goal and then find the person that can help you achieve your goal. And that's where you're looking for that subject matter expert. Going to spend a little bit of money to do that and keep from FSBOing yourself. That was the aha moment that we had on this project. And
huge shout out to Michael too, and we'll put his information in here. We actually, you found him, Ed, and he helped us get this podcast off the ground, and he's an amazing coach and leader, and he's professional. Oh my God, I just feel so lucky that we found him. So, okay, you're going to kill me, but what's the name of his company? See, we only know people by their first name. We don't know their companies. Anyway, it'll be in the show notes, so you can take a look at that.
I think it's TruthWorks. I think, but I'll have to go back.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make sure. Otherwise, we're gonna have to edit.
I know. Live program. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what's the name of this company? But Michael, we love you.
Wait, what?
And thanks for helping.
Michael's
helping get us going.
Great. Thanks so much,
you can't
people.
Use that. But look
Truth
for that
Media.
one.
TruthWork Media. TruthWork Media. There we go.
Yeah, they have been great.
They have been incredible. And then here's something that when you and I were first talking about the podcast, and again, we're telling you these 5 things because this is a great way to sort out what really is important to you, because you're taking the time. You're not just going, I'm going to climb Mount Everest, Sure you are, buddy. But, well, maybe you are. I don't know. But you can take the time and you can say, okay, I'm going to give this 3 months, 3 to 6 months. You give it a deadline. And when you get to that point, if it's not something that you're interested in, then you can say, hey, you know what? I gave it a try. It's not really my gig. But you're never going to know if you don't give it at least 3 months. I personally think 6 months is what you need to do. But okay.
I think so too.
Yeah. So we have just a couple of examples that we use to do this with. And Ed, why don't you start with number 1?
Yeah. So I think on the business level, I was thinking about areas where I've done this before we had our aha moment. And last year, I really wanted to work on my negotiation skills. As you know, I'm in past podcasts, if you listen to them, I'm a big fan of Chris Voss's Never Split the Difference, that book.
Yep.
And I thought, okay, how do I take that to the next level? And I found that he had a 12-month real estate negotiation course. And so I took that. I said, okay, I'm going to spend some money and put some time and effort in and sign up for this, personal Zoom coaching where you go through and you have homework assignments and you come back and do it and interact with a lot of realtors and practice. And so that was, putting time and money toward that to get expert advice. And I can tell you, it has paid huge dividends for my clients and my business to be able to use those skills.
And it's helped me too, and I didn't even take the class. So I would definitely read that book. It really gives you some incredible tools. So I know I always back him up on that book. But the other thing is a business coach. We both have been a part of Buffini for a very long time.
That's right.
And we now have the same coach, which is really cool.
Yep. It's very, very
Julie,
cool.
who she's great. And she will actually be on a podcast coming up here really soon. So definitely tune into that one because she'll share a lot of great reasons and ideas of why you need to hire a business coach. Yeah. Anything else you want to hang out on that one? Yeah.
Let me add to that I can't say enough about coaching for your business. You'll tend, I know it was happening with my businesses. I would hit a ceiling and I really struggled to bash through that. And again, trying to do it alone. I was FSBOing myself on my business. And by having a coach that could look at the ways I'm doing things and look at my personality and understand, how to help me grow and balance things out. It has just been night and day. So I strongly encourage people to do that.
Right.
How about, shall we dive into the life balance piece?
Yeah.
You want to take that one on?
This is my favorite part. So life balance, I think that if you're going to get a coach in your business, you definitely need a coach in your life balance section as well. I happen to have 2 in my life balance. One is my coach for training me to ride my bicycle 620 miles for the Challenged Athletes Foundation. Incredible foundation, by the way. And the second one is a coach for gaining muscle so that I can be at the peak physical self by the time I get on that damn bike. So I decided that those things were really important to me. So that I could achieve my goal. I just didn't want to go into it willy-nilly, and I have before, and I'm really feeling the benefits of having someone who is an expert in the area that I need help, like an expert in business coaching, Buffini, an expert in podcasts, Michael, an expert in, getting your body the where it needs to be, MetPro, an expert in cycling, Cody Stevenson. So it's just like, it's one of those cool things that I don't know if I would have done this, Ed, if you hadn't have said you're FSBOing yourself. We're FSBOing ourselves. Yeah. So it was good to dive into takeaway.
That. I know for me on the life balance piece, during COVID, I wanted to get into mountain biking, and I'm a road cyclist. I've done that for a long time, but knew enough that it was different. Mountain biking is a different discipline than road cycling. And I really didn't want to learn by like going over the handlebars. I wanted to learn a different way. And so I got together a group of buddies that we were talking about doing this, and we hired a coach, and we spent 3 hours in a coaching session and have done subsequent coaching sessions up in the DuPont State Forest, beautiful mountain biking area. And it was a game changer. It was just amazing because we all came out of there. We all ended up buying, full suspension mountain bikes, and we were riding wheelies. We thought we were like in the 6th grade. And now it's become one of my favorite things to do. So you like that?
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you might not want to hire a coach who works at the bike shop because they just want you to come in and buy their really expensive mountain bikes. That's right. So be picky. And then here's another layer. And you and I didn't even talk about this, but who better than to call your database and say, hey, I'm really interested in getting into mountain biking. And, do you know anybody that would be a coach or somebody that you could refer me to? Because then it starts this organic, beautiful conversation with them. And if you've qualified your people and you know what they're into, you would have a select group of people that you could lean into, which gives you just yet another reason to call your clients.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great idea, and one I haven't consciously done, although I tend to I'll put these things together and bring my clients involved in them, along with me a little bit of the time.
Yeah, you're really good at that. You're really good at that, actually. Do you want to, because we've covered the passion project stuff on here, do you want to talk about like your running group or your cycling group or your mountain biking group?
Yeah. And again, if you have this
I love that.
Yeah, if you have this kind of personality, it's a really great way to build your business, which is to kind of look at the things you're into and then invite your clients along for the ride, so to speak. And I've done a lot of that. And then organically, a lot of business comes out of it. So I wanted to get back into running, so I joined a running group, and we met every Tuesday night. And I've done a number of transactions with that group and become very close with them. My cycling buddies, the same thing. And then I organize a annual event for that. We call it Mountain Training Camp. In the past, I've put on events. I guess I have put them on for half marathons that we've all done with my running folks. And now starting to drift into the mountain biking scene, bringing people along for that, where we'll go camping and then ride in the state parks and in the North Carolina mountains. So it's just, look for the things you're interested in, and then find those people in your database, or you just bring people along for the ride, and they'll become clients along the way.
Yeah, no, I love that. So organic and so cool, because you're doing something you love with people that you enjoy, who then in turn become or are clients. I think that's really great. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, and you do it in just one note there. You do it in a very natural way, and it takes. It's like anything; it just takes time. It's not the reason you do it, but it's an ancillary benefit that comes out of it.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, great.
All right, everybody.
I think that's
wrapping it up, wrapping up the FSBOs. So, hey, don't forget to like us and share us. And if you want to see our faces, you can see us on YouTube as well. Always love your comments. Let us know what you'd like to hear about, talk about. We're open to it. And until the next time,
ciao.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.